There you go.
Yes.
So more trouble in Colorado. I have an article here from Sophie St. Thomas out of High Times as Colorado Senate approves legislation banning social media praise of drugs. Looks like High at 9 News is in trouble. There's another attack on the First Amendment for you to worry about, especially if you live in Colorado. The Centennial State Senate approved an epically terrifying social media bill that could require social media platforms to prohibit users from saying anything deemed positive about controlled substances online, including psychedelics legal in the state, specific hemp products, and even some over-the-counter cough syrups. The bill, officially named SB 24158, is a comprehensive measure that addresses internet age verification and content regulations, mandating that social media platforms promptly delete any, quote, any user who promotes, sells, or advertises an illicit substance. Originally, the bill would have also applied to cannabis, which is, of course, legal in Colorado. Adults 21 and older can possess up to 1 ounce of marijuana and grow up to 6 plants privately. Thankfully, that got scrapped thanks to an amendment last month from the bill's sponsor, Senator Chris Hansen, a Democrat, shocking, who made sure it includes language noting that, quote, a social media platform may allow a user to promote, sell, or advertise medical marijuana or retail marijuana to users who are at least 21 years of age, if the content that the user is posting is in line with state cannabis laws. While IGing your legal weed should be fine, be careful about posting anything purchased on the black market or potentially grown illicitly. The Senate, with 4 members excused, voted 30-1 to pass the revised measure during its third reading. However, there's still plenty to be angry over. The revised bill would continue to cover a wide range of both legal and illegal substances. Despite the amendment concerning cannabis, the bill could still pose significant threats for users who attempt to share harmless and legal content about substances as available as cough medicine. R Street Institute fellow Shoshana Wiseman told Marijuana Moment last month, quote, the updated version would still prevent users from promoting NyQuil or anti-anxiety medications, among many others, even though it exempts marijuana. If you promote those medications, you will be reported to the law enforcement, and that is asinine. Because this isn't just a rule a private company is creating, it's the government. And as amended, the bill maintains that its reach pertains to certain hemp products, such as those containing over 1.25 milligrams of THC or any CBD to THC ratio under 20-1. It also includes most other hemp-based products meant for human consumption, basically anything except for those categorized as dietary supplements, foods, food additives, or herbs. State psychedelic advocates are concerned. It pits Colorado's legal drug laws up against government outreach. As Marijuana Moment reports, Kevin Matthews, the director of the campaign in Denver that successfully made the city the first in the U.S. to decriminalize psilocybin, said on Facebook after the vote that SB 24158 would, quote, make it nearly impossible to even simply talk about plant and fungi medicine on any social media network without the state monitoring it. Of course, this is not only worrisome for those who like to post photos of their beautiful fungi, but puts information about safe and responsible usage at risk. Once again, an attempt to regulate and restrict will end up making substances that would usually be very safe and beneficial more dangerous than if people were just let be. Measure's language, quote, severely handicaps the emergent psychedelic ecosystem at all levels to educate the public, Matthews wrote, and gives broad powers to a state apparatus to take legal action against individuals for expressing their opinion online. Under the proposed legislation, social media companies would need to revise their policies and make them publicly available by July 1st, 2025. Any changes to these policies must be posted online within 14 days after they are implemented. The companies would be obligated to annually provide the state attorney general with reports confirming whether their published policies include definitions and provisions related to illicit substances, as per a legislative summary given to a Senate committee. The bill requires to keep all data and metadata related to users' identities and activities for 1 year, which puts users at risk of hackers coming in and stealing such data. While the First Amendment is obviously a concern, informed critics warn that the bill infringes on the Fourth Amendment as well, which is meant to protect Americans from unreasonable search and seizures by the government. I'm Todd Denkin with High at 9 News, and quite frankly, we are all over social media, sometimes promoting, but definitely reporting on illegal substances. You think we'll be banned in Colorado?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how are they going to enforce this?
SB 187, because this is a homicide on our rights. This is insane.
There's a boof bill.
How are they going to actually even enforce on this? And I mean, Colorado was the first state that I went to that I saw people selling weed on Craigslist. So
yep, exactly.
So like how are they actually going to enforce on this? I don't see how this is a big nothing burger that just steps on people's First Amendment rights and tramples it.
It's definitely not a nothing burger. It's definitely ridiculous that the lawmakers are assuming such a responsibility to monitor and to control our online behavior when when in Colorado specifically they've made psychedelics legal. They have ketamine clinics. They have things like this. This is totally ridiculous. This is complete infringement on all of our rights as citizens and as users of all of the online content that most of it we're developing ourselves, right? So it's like it doesn't exist without us in the first place. So this is crazy. I can't believe this is my home state. This is extremely disappointing. Extremely disappointing. I don't even know what to say, but it's really scary. It's really scary.
This is sponsored by a Democrat too.
Right. That's not surprising.
That's not surprising. They're the ones that want to control everything.
Right.
I think it is. I think it is
like a woman's choice to choose.
I was just going to go there, and then I was like, Saman's going to tell me this is a weed show. So thank you, Todd Denkin, not only for the article, but also for reminding voters about what is the significantly most important issue in America this next election cycle. Now, here's the problem. This increases the cost to the social media companies of having to bank this information for a year. All costs to businesses are ultimately passed along to consumers through either advertising or fees. The other thing that concerns me is we will get banned, and Matthew St. Germain will be leading the charge on that. Right. And actually getting banned could be the best thing for my career because I've tried to be as spicy as possible, and the internet still hasn't shut me down. I think that what we're really looking at here is something that is ultimately going to get rolled back. Technology companies tend to be well-financed. They're going to just lawyer up. This thing is going to get stuck in some sort of temporary injunction for 18 months. Eventually, it'll get overturned. Somebody will talk about freedom of speech and blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
But I think behind the bastardization of this bill, there was a legitimately noble intention, which is, I think we can all agree that social media is ruining children and their access to things they shouldn't have access to, whether it's pedophiles or snuff films or DMT pens on Telegram. It's really clear that we do need to figure out ways in this new paradigm to protect the munchkins against new threats.
How about be a parent? How about be a parent?
Yeah, I'm glad you said it, Saman, before I did. I think this all lays on the parents. Like I grew up in part of my childhood was in Germany, right? When I was in Germany from when I was 5 till I was 10 years old, they have porn on the front of the newspaper stands. Yep. They don't have problems with teen pregnancy. They don't have a problem with STDs that America does. The problem is the prudes that tried to block this stuff, and then you leave it. Yeah, the prudes that try to block this stuff, and the kids aren't properly educated on what reality is and is not.
It's a fear-based mindset. It's a fear-based mindset. We don't live in an abundant mindset in America.
Right. I feel like on several levels, this is just an attack on our rights, an attack on the economy. It's an attack on the freedom of speech as well. And what I don't really understand is how they're going to even enforce this shit, because they said, only illicit drugs. Like, how are you going to be able to tell? Right? Somebody just smoking some shit. Like, how are you gonna tell if that's legal or illegal?
It's just THCA.
It's everything. It has to do with everything. It's so stupid. Right. Like we find this stuff hilarious. They find it appalling for some weird reason, you know? And it's like, look, I get it. You're right, Yarrow. The internet's a scary freaking place, especially for children. But as a parent, you got to do your fucking job, period. End of story.
Yep, I agree with that. And on that, we're going to go to a commercial, and we're going to be right back.
Less laws.
Hey, Rico, the reason why German porn is not an issue over there is because it's the one thing they don't make well.
No, actually, the German strip clubs are better than any strip clubs that I've ever been to anywhere in the world.
There's this,
bro. You've been a
are we on commercial?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm